Guys, you can throw out this gross already, you don't need it anymore.
This is how the Ukrainian military returns from Russian captivity. 52 people. Among those whom Ukraine brought home are 2 civilians, defenders of Azovstal, and the head of the surgical department of the military hospital in Mariupol. Also a Marine whose wife was also recently released as part of the exchange. A retired officer of the security service of Ukraine who was taken prisoner by the Russian occupiers in Bucha, and a sailor from the legendary Zmyiny Island.
Glory to Ukraine!
However, the Kremlin is silent about who exactly they managed to swap. The Russian Ministry of Defense reported that 50 Russian servicemen who, quote, were in mortal danger in captivity were returned. The prisoners themselves do not speak of any mortal danger.
We were not beaten, we were fed, we had what to smoke, they gave us sweets, bread.
And here is an excerpt from a Russian media publication. Vladislav Fedyukovich, which held captive in Ukraine for almost 8 months. He returned home to Astrakhan in mid-October. This is how he recalls his Ukrainian captivity.
We are civilians, they did not make any claims against us, they treated us well. We were always in touch with our relatives, they fed us normally. They brought food and medicines we requested. Vladislav Fedyukovich, Russian civilian sailor, in a comment to Astrakhan News.
And here are completely different memories of being held in Russian captivity. Photos of the Ukrainian Marine Mikhailo Dianov fled around the world. The health condition in which he returned home was shocking. And this is the return home of 108 Ukrainian female defenders. The oldest of those released is 62 years old, and the youngest is 21. In Russian captivity they were constantly mocked. There was no contact with their relatives.
We were told that Ukraine does not want to return us, that no one needs us. We were mocked, we were beaten. Their fins, women were beaten, and women beat the most. Their women beat us every morning and evening. We were taken out to be counted and beaten every morning and evening. They were mocking as much as they could. I'll tell you honestly, they were fascists.
Russia has denied international humanitarian organizations access to prisoners. Neither the Red Cross nor the United Nations can obtain objective information about the condition of detention of Ukrainians in Russian prisons. Unlike Ukraine, here all requirements for the maintenance of prisoners of war are strictly observed. And while the president of Russia practically barely mentions the Russians in captivity, the president of Ukraine declares:
in total, 1,031 people have been released from Russian captivity since March. We remember everyone who is being held captive in Russia and in the occupied territory, and we will do everything to return each and every one.
Moreover, Ukraine has a good exchange fund, and according to the head of the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, Kyrylo Budanov, it is only growing. Compliance with the Geneva Conventions is guaranteed. Reported by Roman Smoler, Angelika Brushnevska, UATV News.